Hello, good neighbors. It is a beautiful day, and of course, don't want to be inside all day, so we're going to take a quick run, get some sunlight, get some food, see what's going on in the world. Mask in hand, of course. And while we do so, I just wanted to come in and give you basically the last little bit of my leap of faith preparation, I guess you could say. These were the things that I did that weren't necessarily tangible, and again, may or may not help you if you're in the process of making that decision as to whether or not you're going to quit your full-time job to go 100% in your business of choice. But I did at least want to kind of wrap up, I guess you could call the Leap of Faith series of videos that I'm doing with this bit of information. So let's get started. First off, quitting a paying full-time job with benefits to go 100% in a business that's not already making money or making a lot of money is going to be seen as crazy by a lot of people. And while for the most part, I don't tend to get caught up in what other people think of me or what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, there are a few people in my life whose opinion really does matter. And I was concerned with how they might perceive this particular move. So I had to get my mind right. I had to get confident in why I was doing it, what I was going to do once I quit the job, and what success or failure was going to look like to me, right? So I did a lot of mindset kinds of exercises. I began doing affirmations, began listening and participating in guided meditations. I started journaling all around what life was going to look like, what I wanted it to look like once I quit my full-time job. And I did all of that to get confident and settled into the idea that I was about to do something that a lot of people were going to judge as being crazy. And I just wanted to be able, when I got the negative comments or when I got the well-intentioned, are you sure that's what you want to do? But what ifs? When I got those kinds of responses, that I was going to be set and confident and rooted in my reasoning for doing so. From there, I looked at my environment, my apartment. I thought about creating a space that would nurture my business. As a writer, I need room for the characters to talk to me. And so visually, I don't need a lot of clutter. I don't need a lot of things competing for that mind space. So I did a pretty decent declutter of my house. Well, my apartment. Got rid of a lot of stuff that was just sitting there taking up space that I didn't need. Got rid of a lot of things that I had spent money on but wasn't using. So I donated those, recycled those. All of that to reduce the amount of visual clutter that I had so I could focus more on my writing. I also wanted a clean environment to start this off in. I did not want to be sitting around worrying about dirty dishes or taking the trash out, those kinds of things. Didn't want all that going on. So again, looking at getting my environment situated so I could work full-time at home and not feel overwhelmed or distracted. I also did a couple of new vision boards. I've done a few in the past, and to be perfectly honest, I don't think they made that big a difference in my day-to-day. But for this particular move, I did want something visually to remind me every day of what I said I wanted to do, of the lifestyle that I'm working toward. So I created just a couple of different vision boards, and I put them up in prominent places in my apartment. Typically, if I'd done something like that, it would be tucked away in a corner where only I would see it. Under the circumstances, I'm the only one in my apartment, so I pretty much am the only one who sees it. But as things open up, as hopefully friends feel more comfortable coming over, then they too will see what it is I'm working toward and hopefully become allies, become accountability buddies, if you will. They'll know to ask me about certain aspects of my now business life. Am I doing what I said I was going to do? And so I've put them up, like I said, in prominent places in my living space so that any and everybody who comes through that door can see what I'm working on, so that as I am sitting on the couch, maybe attempting to veg out, get a visual reminder of, no, you quit a job to go 100% in your own business. So shouldn't you be writing? Isn't there a book you need to be promoting? That kind of thing. I put them where I'm going to be reminded of having taken this leap for a reason. And then finally, I adjusted a couple of my daily routines. Now, with the freedom of not having to commute, I still need that morning space to kind of clear my mind and let ideas just flow. And so what I do now to replace my commute is I go for a morning walk. And then when I come back, after I've showered and gotten dressed for the day, then I have breakfast. And that was something that I didn't allow myself time to do when I was working. I'd get up, get cleaned up, and hit the road so I could make that 45-minute commute to work. Whereas now, working from home, working for myself, I know I still need that time of just kind of silence, and I need to be able to mimic that commute without hopping in the car and wasting gas. So my routine now is I get up, I get dressed, I go for my walk, I come back, have breakfast, and then I'm ready to start my actual work day. Because the bulk of my business is being a writer, I spend most of my morning, that's typically my more creative time, my more energetic time. So I spend the bulk of my morning actually writing. Typically, I'll write from about 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I break for lunch. You got to fuel the machine, right? So then I break for lunch, get something to eat. My afternoons are now for my more administrative tasks, going through email, responding to comments on YouTube, those kinds of things. I'll use that time as well to write any of the copy for my email or for my newsletters coming up. And so far, having been at this now for a week, I find that routine, the way I've got my day broken out, to be really satisfying. So by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm done with work. I'm done with with my to-do list as far as my business is concerned. And it just feels really good. I notice that I'm happy. I'm happy in the evenings now, more relaxed. I have slept better in the last week than I have in the last 27 years. It's been that transformative for me, based on having taken the steps as I've outlined before and now during, to make sure that I am living the business life that I had promised myself I was going to live. Alright, so that's going to do it for my Leap of Faith series. Hoping that you got some valuable information from it, and that you decide to stick around and hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and finish soaking